Mixed martial arts legend Quinton Jackson has sensationally claimed he was offered $1,000 to take a dive in his Pride debut. Jackson made his name competing in the now-defunct promotion in the early 2000s before eventually making his way to the UFC, where he became light heavyweight champion. In the years following the UFC's former parent company's acquisition of the Pride, several former fighters have revealed wild tales from their time in the promotion. Accusations of the promoters encouraging fighters to take performance-enhancing drugs have been plenty, as well as claims the Yakuza were pulling the scenes. Jackson was once a beloved figure by the promotion, who he claims once offered to pay him an extra $1,000 for him to roll over in his debut against MMA legend Kazushi Sakuraba. While explaining his frustrations with his pay back in the day, Rampage said on his Fade on Sight podcast, "Back in Pride, the Motherfs was making $200,000, $300,000 cash money, and they was paying me $30,000, bro, and I was like their biggest star from America besides Kevin Randleman and Mark Coleman. And Heath Herring put me up on game. And I went back and I told them, oh, y'all paying me nah money. What the FK? And then they got even madder at me and they didn't put me in the first video game. All this st happened. I didn't feel any loyalty to them. So I kind of started talking too much, I started saying too much, they'll never do it again. I talked about how I fought Sakuraba, how they offered me $1,000 to take a dive." Jackson, 45, claims his outspoken ways put him in the bad books of former Pride chief and current Risen president Nobuyuki Sakakibara, which he's still in over 2 decades later. "Pride still don't FK with me," he exclaimed. "When I went to Risen in Japan, I had to buy my own tickets. I had to buy 5 tickets, I didn't know where the seats were, it's all in Japanese. So I get there and am kinda far away from the ring and am posting it. I don't care about being ringside. I don't care about that shit. And fans were like, damn, nah. They sat you in the nosebleeds. Then Nate Diaz gave me tickets to his fight and I was sitting front row and they were like, oh. You got better seats blah, blah, blah." Jackson doesn't foresee a reconciliation between himself and his former employers, insisting, "They don't FK with me. Pride, they don't FK with me." Jackson fought a whopping 17 times under the Pride banner before joining the now-defunct World Fighting Alliance, which was bought by the UFC in 2007. He bagged a title shot with a brutal stoppage of Marvin Eastman in his debut in February 2007 and went on to dethrone then light heavyweight champion Chuck Liddell 2.5 months later with a first-round finish. Jackson registered 1 title defense before losing the belt to Forrest Griffin in July 2008. He made a further 9 appearances in the promotion, during which he failed in an ill-fated bid to reclaim the 205 pounds title in a 2011 clash with John Jones. He was last in action 4 years ago against fellow MMA icon Fedor Emelianenko at Bellator 237 in Japan, where he suffered a first-round TKO defeat to the recently retired Russian.